When you have a show that is run for 9 seasons and counting, you're going to introduce a ton of new characters over that time. Well, some of those characters have been used very well, others have just been completely and utterly wasted. This could be because of a lack of screen time, or character development, or just simply being underused. Hey guys, Hfmasters here, and today we're going to be counting down the top 10 wasted Ninjago characters. The original Elemental Masters have the potential to become very, very important characters if they are ever brought back. We have gotten to see them in flashbacks fighting against Crux and Necronics and fighting in the Serpentine Wars, but that's as far as they go. If they were to be brought back, whether it be in the present or in a flashback, they could be used to answer many questions regarding the ninja, such as how Zane got his power, or further develop Jay and Cole's backstory. But as it is right now, these characters have not been used for much, and they could be used for much more in the future, which is why they stay at a low spot on the list. The first SPINJITZU Master has been built as the most important character in all of Ninjago, having created Ninjago itself, defeating the Overlord, and being able to tame the firstborn dragon. However, we're yet to see much about him. We know his backstory, but we haven't been able to see his power or him in battle. It took until Season 9 for us to even get to hear his voice for the first time, and we still haven't even seen his face. However, he still remains low on this list because although right now there is a lot about him that we haven't been able to see, there's still tons of time for the show to expand on him in the coming seasons and fully utilize his potential. Kaya and Nia reuniting with their parents had been built to ever since the pilot season of Ninjago, but when it finally happened in Season 7, it really amounted to nothing. It was revealed that Rei and Maya had been forced by Crux to build weapons and armor for the Vermilion, and it gave Kaya and Nia the moment they had been building to for years, but other than those two developments, they really didn't matter. Fast forward to Season 9 and Rei and Maya have just seemingly disappeared once again, however they can still be brought back and better utilized, leaving them at a lower spot. Mystery was one of the main leaders of the Sons of Garmadon. He was portrayed as arguably the most powerful of them, besting the ninja in combat multiple times and wielding the Oni Mask of Vengeance. He also became one of the most intriguing villains because Mr. E was a literal mystery. No one knows who he is, where he came from, or really anything beyond that he's a ninjroid. However, before we got any of this answered, he was mercilessly killed off by Garmadon, leaving us left with questions and just a whole lot of wasted potential. General CRYPTOR may have been the main leader of the ninjroid army, but he was very overshadowed. The return of Pythor and the eventual physical emergence of the Overlord stopped CRYPTOR from being able to develop something more than just another ninjroid, but with cooler armor. If anything, Mindroid got more to work with than CRYPTOR did, despite the potential that he could have had. However, CRYPTOR did return for Day of the Departed, which did showcase him a little bit more, but the very nature of Day of the Departed limited just how much they could actually give him, leaving him as just another villain. Like CRYPTOR, General KOZU may have been the leader of the Stone Army, but he was very overshadowed. Both Garmadon and the Overlord took major priority over him during the final battle, leaving him with little left to do. And when they brought him back for Day of the Departed, he was easily defeated by Dareth without even having to get into battle. For someone who was originally meant to be one of the final major villains of Ninjago, it's surprising how little they actually decided to do with KOZU, leaving him as seemingly one of the weakest Ninjago villains of all time. Okay, so not all of these Serpentine generals were wasted. Pythor and Scales were definitely used well, but exactly what did Phantom, Acidicus, and Scalador do? They were supposed to be the most powerful members of their respective tribe, and they were just thrown under the rug in favor of heavily featuring Pythor as the main villain. Personally, I would have liked to see at least one episode which featured each tribe and their leaders, so we could have got to see what each of the generals could do instead of just these 3 generals being almost pointless and their tribes being pretty much wasted. Like the Serpentine generals, not all of the Elemental Masters were wasted. Characters like Neuro, Karloff, and Skylar were utilized very well, but most of the others weren't. And sure, some of these characters were brought back for Season 9, but even still, a lot of them have been just kind of sidelined in favor of mainly featuring Karloff and Skylar. And then there's characters like the Master of Gravity, Master of Nature, Master of Sound, and Master of Form who have all been left in the dark. There's so much potential in expanding on the powers of these characters, and there's so much that it could bring to Ninjago, but as of now it's just something that we'll never know. Shen's evil apprentice Klaus was a very interesting character. He wields the power of dark magic, but unfortunately it's barely expanded upon, only being used a couple times in battle. He takes a backseat to Chen for the entire season and is trapped in the Curse Realm after losing a battle to Garmadon. Klaus has made some brief comebacks, but even still he's just been used as a minor plot device and has really amounted to nothing more than just a wasted character, and it's quite a shame considering how much potential he really has, especially considering that he has the dark magic power that we really haven't seen anything of. Samukai is very easily the most underused character in all of Ninjago in my opinion. He was the original king of the underworld until losing that title to Lord Garmadon and being relegated to the leader of the Skulkin army. He was one of the few villains to fully complete his goal by obtaining all 4 golden weapons of SPINJITZU, but he was quickly killed off when he attempted to wield all 4 of them at once. LEGO did bring him back for Day of the Departed, but he was only used as comic relief there and it didn't even come in one of the sets. Personally, I would have loved to see a lot more of Samukai in action, and if the pilot season was longer than just 2 episodes, we may very well have. But that was the top 10 wasted Ninjago characters. Let me know what you guys thought of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Till next time, I'll see you guys later.